No.
Hello, welcome back to Zero Strategy Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am joined by my
Did you
co-host.
wave?
Oh my God! Every
You
week,
didn't wave
I
strong
didn't see
enough.
it.
Humps
He
was
spent
waving
like
back
10
at
minutes
me.
doing this. 10 minutes he was like this.
Yeah, and Humps
That's why
waved.
Nah.
Humps waved
We were
back
just
to me.
vibing.
I could tell. I was like, Grog's just like looking down at his cereal, just chatting away. Humps, I'm gonna assume if you wave to me that you're gonna communicate to everyone.
Oh,
You assumed wrong.
Yeah.
that was. Well, I also flipped you off. Did you not?
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that?
Oh, I saw it. I saw it every week. Every week.
My
Don't-
way.
Yeah.
Don't you put this on me.
I'm joined today by my co-hosts. We have Unholy Cyber.
Yellow.
We have Grog Mode.
Hi.
We have Medibot Eve.
Hi.
We have Sir Hubs.
Holmes.
I got one.
Thank you very much for joining us. We've got a lot to go through. Not too much Twitch news this week, but I'm sure we'll find plenty to talk about.
Hey. Welcome, everybody. I don't know if you noticed or not. This is all of us. First time in a while.
Yeah.
All of
It's
us.
true.
We're here. This is us.
the
Zero
whole-
Strategy Podcast representing, showing you what we look like.
We got the whole squad today. So, as we usually do, we have a brief catch up with everyone. Cyber, what have you been up to since we last had you on the podcast?
I'm kind of hungover, which comes as no surprise, so I'm lucky dying right now.
You take that
So
one
I'm
off your
good.
bingo
Yep.
sheet.
Yep.
Hungover
I
Cyber.
took
Yep.
a lot. I took a lot of ibuprofen and aspirin, and hoping that it saves my ass, because otherwise I'm going to sleep after this. But apart from that, fighting with the UK government because they keep fucking canceling my flight, so that's great. But I've got a new flight. It just means that I need to go to fucking Toronto, which is only 8 hours drive, because that seems to be the next logical fucking place to put me. But yeah, no warning, just cancelled my flight and said, "Oh, we've changed it to Toronto." And it's like, okay, but you're gonna give me another flight to Montreal, please? But no, apparently not. So yeah, that's the shit I've been dealing with.
Fun times. Fun times. How long till you move again now?
Now it is 24 days, like 3 weeks on Wednesday.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
So
Nice.
I need to figure out if I'm gonna put this PC in like a big container and like ship it over, or strip it down, stick it in my carry-on, and then fucking build it when I get out there. So I don't know. It's too much work, man. If you've ever built a PC, it's like, I can't be bothered stripping it down again. But yeah, that's what I've been doing with. I actually streamed today as well, which
You
was
did.
it felt weird, and I got mad anxiety. I'm a 31-year-old man, and I got mad anxiety. I was just like, I can't hit the button. But I'm glad that I did. It was a good laugh.
Yeah, I noticed you were live early as well, and I've not seen you on for a while. I'm surprised if you woke up hungover that you still managed to.
Oh, last night was
Start
a
a
fucking
stream.
doozy. Like, I fell asleep. I had the audacity to pass out because I was drunk, and I woke up to like 50 missed calls because obviously Mary's in Canada, so she had no idea. She's like, "I thought you fell in the canal." I was like, "No, I just passed out." I had a kebab. I passed out. I woke up, chatted her for a bit, and I felt like shit. Whiskey was a bad idea, man. Beer gardens are gonna be the death of me, honestly.
Well, it's wonderful to have you back. Grog, what have you been up to?
Not much. I started playing Subnautica this week. It's super cool. I think that I'm starting to understand what all the hype was about when it first came out. Which has me even more excited for playing the second game. Other than that, I've just been kind of doing the same old, same old. Did a lot of Subnautica this week. Did some Apex. I'm looking forward to the split happening so that we can finally, I'm hoping, switch maps. Apex for ranked currently has had everybody on World's Edge, and I would like to see some ranked on Olympus. So fingers crossed that's going to happen. Yesterday I also got to chill in my Discord, and I did some just hanging out with my buddy Hawk Ninja. We watched the European ALGS championship yesterday. Shout out to Team Scars for winning. But the North American ALGS is today. I don't know what time it starts. It might have even started. But yeah, so that's going to be really interesting. And
ALGS for
so
fun.
this is yeah. So this is for the Apex Legends Global Series.
Okay. I knew
They-
that. I'm
Just for the viewers that
people
might have
need-
not known.
everybody knows, I mean,
Yeah.
I think our stats show there's a few percent of 60 plus people that watch it. They may not be familiar. That's all.
What's interesting about this series is that it started in January of 2020, and there was a bunch of like feeder circuits like leading up to this, so like smaller tournaments that built up. Think of it this way: it's basically the World Cup of Apex in the sense that it has taken from January 2020 to now to actually come up with the 60 teams that would go into the European and the North American tourney. And then even after that, there's still a tournament there's still a finals that happens and a semifinals that happens before that. So like this is a year and a half in the making in terms of like start to finish. And it's
wow.
really cool to see. So it's kind of like literally the best of the best of the best of the talent pool for first person shooting and battle royales like
Yeah, but I
out
wasn't
there.
on there, so obviously that's not.
Well,
right.
I actually said sorry. I've got prior commitments, the podcast,
You know-
and things.
You
They were really,
notified them last year.
they were gutted
But-
that I couldn't make it, but you know.
What's cool though is one thing I want to talk about later after we do our intros is how like they've done the coverage of it. And I think it's just like interesting how esports is now starting to well, I want to talk about esports basically a little bit later.
Sure.
But yeah, this week has been
No.
good.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay.
Eve, what have you been up
Sorry,
to?
The usual audio being out of sync on Discord again.
It's not bad right now. It's okay. Just go slow. You'll be all right.
Yeah. Okay, so here, what if I do it like this? Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yes,
Much
there we go.
better.
Now no one
Don't
can
even
There you
notice
go. No one will know.
I've been playing a lot of Minecraft.
Oh, no, it's
The
good right now.
new 1.17 update that came out.
Yeah, how is
Um,
that?
Good. It's good. There's not like a lot of changes yet. The rest of it's coming out for like the whole Caves and Cliffs update. They had to split it up.
Right.
But yeah, just putting like 12, 14 hours a day in it again.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's been pretty fun. That's kind of all I've been doing.
I've just been
Worked on-
watching
ooh,
you play
I finished the script
Pokemon.
for a video finally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hamtaro?
Yeah, that one that I started in September of last year.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So yeah, gonna be actually trying to record that on Thursday after the charity stuff.
Oh, nice,
And
nice,
then,
nice, nice.
um,
What charity stuff?
Yeah, let's
I'm
dive into
doing
that.
a
Yeah.
charity event with some of the people in here and some other people. We're doing that
When?
on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, just tomorrow. But
Did you have to check?
yeah. No,
If
I
it was
just realized like, oh fuck yeah, today's Sunday.
Oh, have to check. I thought you said, do you have a check? Like you were paying people for to
Did you
play with
fucking
you.
check for any
show up.
people? Make them out to
Get-
the Trevor
Get your
Project.
checkbooks out.
on.
People are like, checkbooks? The fuck is that?
Yeah, we're doing it for the Trevor Project, which is a trans youth support resource.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be fun.
Obviously, they're fully vetted by. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
they're not.
Yeah,
shitheads, right?
they've been around for
yeah.
forever. Like my brother Jeff worked on a documentary for it in Wyoming, like fucking I don't know. It must have been 20 years ago now.
Shit.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, they
Good shit.
started in 1998.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to do that.
Coincidentally, DMCA. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, the Trevor
It's
Project
connected.
is responsible for DMC.
Yep.
It's all a
Pieces of
conspiracy.
So for anyone who needs more of a holistic overview, it's a nonprofit organization focused on suicide prevention among lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning youth. So they have like toll-free numbers. They have centers and outreach, and there's like resources made available online. The Trevor Project meets with and partners with other organizations across the country to provide outreach services for at-risk youth. So it's good stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Eve pulled all of this together. So some of it, like myself and Condi and Gonzo, friend of the channel, and a suspicious shark, are all going to be running charities, running fundraisers for that charity on our channels.
Yeah, the official campaign is called Save Dem Kids.
Oh, cool.
I love that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We got some group things planned, which we're gonna iron out the details right after this of when and what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow Medibot Eve on Twitter to get the
Yeah,
all
we're doing
the
a
up-to-date
36-hour Among Us stream, and everybody agreed
Jesus
to it already.
Christ.
What
Was that
what?
in the small print somewhere?
Yeah, you guys signed it.
Oh no.
We're not gonna ever want to speak to each other again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Humps, what have you been up to since we last spoke?
Not a whole lot. My lovely wife.
My
My wife.
Thank you. My wife. She took my daughter and left me for a week and a half. She was visiting some family, and also it was a semi-work trip as well. So it was just me and my boy for about a week and a half hanging out here. So I haven't streamed. My boy. I haven't streamed all week except one day. I needed to talk to people that weren't 3 years old. So I set up my camera and I did a burger stream earlier last week. Short stream is only like I think like an hour and a half or something like that, however long it takes me to make my burgers. But that was fun. I mean, it was so hot. It was just muggy. It was just ugh. It was like 150,000% humidity. I felt gross, but the burger was so delicious and it was fun. It was fun. But other than that, like I've been playing some video games when I can. Usually when the boy's asleep or something like that. But yeah, it's just been me and the boy just kind of hanging out. And it's actually been kind of nice because I've been able to lurk in a lot of people's chats, which participate, I guess, rather than normally I'm a big lurker. I have people's up all the time while I'm doing something or whatever. But since I wasn't doing anything, I was able to kind of be in people's chats that I'm not normally in. So it was nice. It was fun. It was a good reset too, I guess, just kind of get away from streaming for a little bit. But at the same time, I'm like, ugh, I need to talk to people. So the stream was nice.
For sure. Absolutely.
Condi, please tell us how was your
I need to stop asking Humps last. Because the sarcasm that I get.
It's not sarcasm. I really am interested. I'm interested in your subpart gameplay. Go.
You assume.
It's Grog here. How's your week?
You assume that all of us won't be a piece of shit and do the
Yeah.
exact same
That's
thing.
true. I
Every
should
single one
know.
of us is going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I should know. Well, I've been kind of on and off this week a little bit. I did some Apex. We ran some more ranked today. Getting close to Plat 3, but I don't think I'm going to make it before the split, unfortunately. But I'm also looking forward to that, to just reset us back and let us grind again. Hopefully on a better map, as Grog said. Other than that, I streamed a little Civ because I became addicted to playing Civ again off stream, which is dangerous because it's eating into my sleeping time. And
Sleeping is eating into the Civ time.
yeah,
That's true. That's really
My-
how you have to look at it.
the bulk of my week was actually spent working on a video that Eve and I recorded last week, which I'm really excited to get out. I've been putting a lot of I've been trying to put extra time into this one to really I think it could be a really, really good video, hopefully. It is watching TikToks, so for a test I uploaded it to YouTube to see how many claims it would get. 6 claims as soon as I uploaded it.
Jesus.
But it's not blocked. It just got claimed for monetization. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. It'll be fine. So
What if this is the video that breaks you? And you could have made like 10 grand off.
yeah, if this video goes like super viral, I'm gonna be upset. But you know, It's what it is.
That's fair.
I
Don't watch the video.
I'm really excited for it. I think it's a funny one. I just basically showed Eve some ridiculous TikToks and we had a good laugh about it.
I
So
found a new hero.
yeah, so that's basically what my week's been focused on. I'm nearly done. I'm hoping to get that one out tomorrow, but we shall see. Because obviously we got charity stream stuff to do, so I want to make sure that kind of takes priority for the few days. But yeah, that's
Did anybody
about
watch
it,
the
really.
fight yesterday?
I saw some highlights this morning, but I didn't watch it.
I just
Huh?
watched the highlights so I could see some TikTokers get the face smashed in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, what?
TikTokers versus
It was the
YouTube?
battle of the
YouTubers,
platforms.
Battle
Yeah.
of the platforms, yeah.
Oh.
I think
Just watch
TikTok
it.
was I think there was a lawsuit. I think they sued them or told them like
Well,
gave them a cease
oh,
and
yeah, they
desist.
did.
They weren't
They
they weren't
should.
happy with TikTok, the brand being
Because they
associated.
use their TikTok logo in
Yeah.
some of the marketing.
To be
Yeah, they were
fair, I
saying
feel like it's a
look-
real fucking missed opportunity to not call it like the fight for
Oh.
content.
100%.
Yeah.
Like this
just-
kind of stuff, like no matter how dumb you think it is, people love watching dumb shit. And like the fact that TikTok's like, we don't want to be a part of that. You're stupid. You're missing out on a lot. of
Yeah, because
shit.
YouTube
Like, that's-
YouTube was happy to have all their
Oh
their
yeah,
stuff associated
YouTube's
with
like,
it.
yeah, fuck you, TikTok. You're going down.
I'm even though because of living in Scotland, these events tend to be on like 3 a.m. for me. So I never really get to watch them live, but like part of me like really started to enjoy watching this YouTube boxing thing. Like I don't know what it is. The Floyd versus Logan fight. Like I didn't, from what I've seen, it wasn't a particularly interesting fight, but like I can't help but be interested in it because it's like, you know, a lot of money on the line for these big events. You know, it's they're making crazy money.
Yeah.
So, Bryce Hall and I forget the other guy's name.
Austin McBroom.
That's it.
Austin
I was
McBroom.
like, I was watching all of the build up. I wasn't entirely invested, but it got to a point where they started making some crazy bets. McBroom said to Bryce, "Just put up $1 million, and if I knock you out, then I get that $1 million." And honestly, he agreed to it so fucking fast. But you saw the light leave his eyes. He was like, "Shit! Like I need to show up for this fucking match." And it literally got to a technical knockout. It was fucking insane to watch it. So much like smack talk from this guy, and he gets like a bloody nose, a cut on his brow, and then he was like, "What the fuck?" to the ref like after it. And honestly, it was like a saving grace because he was about to die. He was getting beat the fuck up. It was so good to watch.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
just
a
kind
big
of an event,
boxing
you know?
fan. Yeah, I'm not a big boxing fan, but I just like seeing little shits that have got a big mouth just get their ass whooped.
No, that's great. I mean, it's the same reason why, like, remember Celebrity Boxing, the claymation on MTV? Like, that is fantastic. People just like,
death match.
that's what it was. Yeah, Celebrity Deathmatch. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
people just like seeing that shit. Of course, it's gonna get a bunch of views. Like, I know this person. Well, you know, I know them as much as, you know, a viewer can know someone, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I really hate this dude. Please punch his face.
It was I saw a TikTok which was I
Zero
assume
strat
a joke.
boxing match win.
Well, I saw
Oh, I'm
Courage
down.
JD. Courage JD challenged Tim the Tabman to a boxing match, and I was like, that's what I would watch live. Like,
Yeah.
if that I know it wouldn't happen, but if it did, I would watch that. That would be phenomenal.
I have reach, but I cry easily. So
I'm agile. Just watch.
Yeah.
I am not.
I'll crack the joke. See,
I'm
fucking
agile like a
agile.
field mouse.
Yeah, it's been interesting. What do you guys think of the Battlefield reveal? We've not seen gameplay yet, but the
I
trailer.
haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen the trailer?
Mm-mm.
That's I was telling these fine folk a little earlier. I played Battlefield 4 a little bit. Like I wasn't big into Battlefield, but every time I see that trailer when he just jumps out of that plane, oh, super hype moment. The music on it's fucking on point, and like all the reaction videos, I get goose. Even right now, so even just thinking about it, I get goosebumps. It's just, it was, as a kid say, it was pretty lit. You know what I mean? It was fire.
Yeah, I used to love Battlefield 4 back in the day. Like I was saying to I think you guys earlier, it was the first game I got on my PS4, and obviously the PS4 came where you could like record like bits of your gameplay, and they had like a really rudimentary editor in it, and I used to put together little montages of Battlefield 4 kills. Like it's probably terrible. I wish I still had those videos. But I remember some really good times playing that with big groups of people, and on the big team deathmatch, like 64 players or something on Battlefield 4. Oh, such good times. I can't wait to jump into the new one. October
I
though.
think one of the things that's got people most excited is the fact that the franchise for a long period of time has skewed away from like a modern setting. And this is kind of like coming back to sort of the I think historically Battlefield, you almost have like two camps of people who really enjoy the franchise. Everyone seems to obviously agree on like the large scale battles being really cool, but you've got folks who played, Battlefield 1945 and like the Battlefield Pacific game, and like Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, which was set in World War II. But then like people who love, on the other side of it, you've got people who maybe weren't feeling those games as much because they were burnt out on like, Medal of Honor or all the, World War II Call of Duties.
Yeah.
And instead you've got, the Battlefield Company series, which felt more emotionally like along the same tone as like Modern Warfare does for Call of Duty, and like Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. And um so I think like people just are resonating and excited for a modern take on it. And I think it's also coming on the back of, Warzone having been out for more than a year. People had wanted to see with a great anticipation as to whether or not this new Battlefield would even include a BR. It won't. They've confirmed that. Which honestly, I don't think it needs it,
Yeah.
because it's
No.
it's its own game. It's its own thing, and people will play it because it's its own thing. Um, but I think that people were excited to see what like the franchise would look like with current gen graphics, with RTX, light tracing, with DLSS technology from NVIDIA, what all of this could do to a Battlefield game. Because Battlefield 5 just always kind of felt a little under optimized. Um, so I think that this is the opportunity for people to really like step back into a setting that they've enjoyed, but they've just been away from. And I think it's going to shake things up a little bit, and more so for the COD community, and whether it's going to draw people away from that.
I think it will.
I think it will too. I think it'll be interesting though to see how, because a lot of Battlefield content creators went to start covering Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Warzone, and very reluctantly Call of Duty Cold War, because Battlefield 5 was like had dipped down in interest level. And so you see people like Jack Frags, who's known for creating their content around Battlefield, and then for the last year basically just did Call of Duty stuff, with a couple Battlefield things here and there. I think that there's going to be a bunch of creators that were siphoned away from Battlefield because of its failings and are going to flood back to it. And I think you're also probably going to see some like Call of Duty content creators maybe dip on Warzone because they've just
Are tired of
they
it.
yeah, they're just
Burn
they
themselves out.
or it's also the case of one of those things where new content comes on and
Yep.
people want to broadcast it because it's new content. It's free, easy content. It's easy views. It doesn't even matter if you like it. You just have to broadcast it for like the first month that it's out. So the first month is going to be oversaturated with it. You'll see it everywhere. People will start saying, Warzone dead game, but it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
Warzone's just its own thing. I'm curious to see what Activision will do as a response to Dice, and if they try to do something. I don't know. It'll be. I guess it sort of remains to be seen how it's going to shake up the player base.
I think it's a good thing too, because I think you hit on a good point about content. I feel like in terms of gaming content right now, in a lot of games, I think there's kind of a lull. I know, especially I mean, I play Destiny obviously, but Destiny is a big content lull for people. But I feel like there's just a lot of not it's just there's not too much new cray game right now. You know what I mean? Like there's not a Warzone's been out too long. People are over Warzone. People are over BRs. I think that smart Battlefield said no to a BR mode because I mean, BRs aren't going to last forever. You know what I mean? Like they'll
Very
always have their
saturated.
place, but yeah, it's super saturated. Everything has a BR mode seems like now, and they're fun. I mean, obviously they're fun, and those games are going to. Apex is one of those. Like Apex, I think Apex is going to just survive. It's going to be probably one of the better BRs, just sustainability wise. But I don't know. I think just a new game that people are super excited about is good for those content creators that are doing that shit.
To me, the battle royale format being kind of thrust into everything reminds me a lot of how, was it 3 years ago, everything was going 3D film.
Oh,
You
yeah.
couldn't go to you couldn't go to the
Yeah.
cinema without everything being in 3D. And granted, the pandemic kind of like put not a nail in the coffin of the film industry in terms of like movie theater attendance, but it was already on its way out, and it was just a fad. It like BRs, I don't think are a flash in the pan. They'll stick
No.
around. It's a format
Yeah.
that's interesting, and it is truly a unique experience, unlike any other. The idea of going in with anywhere from like 20 to 60 teams, and you being the last team standing, king of the hill style, at the very center of the map, has this sort of, I mean, you can romanticize it
Appeal to
easily.
it for sure.
And there is just this adrenaline rush of like, you swept the lobby. um or maybe you didn't sweep the lobby and you just kind of got lucky, and there's some fun in that too, just being the people who just kind of like at the last minute clutched it out, and they just defeated the last boss ass team in the final circle, and they come out with a win having only defeated the one team. It cuts so many ways in terms of excitement, but I don't think that, I think that the industry overall will typically look at it from a production standpoint, and you have developers, sorry, not developers, I take that back, wrong word, publishers. You have publishers looking at the financials and looking at trends and the analytics, saying this format is doing well for gaming, this thing is doing well, this theme is doing well, let's make more of those games. And that's what the publishers push. They try to get developers on board, and the developers end up making these games, and that's how you wind up with modes shoehorned into stuff that just don't quite fit. So like, I'm trying to remember, what was the game that was like a buzz a year ago that now I can't even remember the name for. It was set in a city, and it was all about it was a BR, but it was verticality.
It
and
was
like urban.
Hyperscape.
Hyperscape.
Yeah. Where's that game?
Yeah, I never even played it.
Like nobody, but for a while, huge ad campaign around it. They were getting like notable figures to play it, and that shit just disappeared because that game was an example of it was a cash grab. It was trying to capitalize on making something to just appeal to a trend without having real passion or thought behind it. And that shit just doesn't work in the end. You got to have developers that want to make the games that they're making, and publishers just need to be smart about the developers they're working with. In terms of like, this is a project that the developers really want to see happen, and this is how we can market it to success, instead of this is a marketing strategy that we want to see succeed. Let's find a developer and make them do it. That kind of relationship, I just don't think is going to work.
Try and have a guess how many viewers currently on Twitch Hyperscape has. Taking in consideration exactly what you just said, the huge marketing campaign of this is going to be like an Apex and a Fortnite killer.
4,000.
1,500.
You're saying viewers?
1,501.
800.
Oh, trying to price it right.
11.
11 viewers. Oh my god.
11 viewers.
Oh.
And there are
I love it.
7
makes
people
me
streaming it.
Actually, really.
They're watching each other.
That's brutal.
They're all awesome. It's just 11 people, but like some of them are having tabs open for the other 6,
That's crazy. Actually,
we're gonna make this together, guys.
That could be a market for all of us. Start streaming that.
Hey, you guys like Hyperscape? We're 5 of the best players. There's only 2 of us, but we're top 10, baby.
Yeah, how do you even have a BR when you can't even like
Fill the
Yeah.
lobby.
fill a lobby with
They're
the number of
they're on a
viewers?
24-hour stream, and that's just trying to load into one game. Waiting
You
for
couldn't
people.
you couldn't fill a full BR lobby with the number of viewers that are watching the directory right now.
So that's it. It's interesting
brutal.
because I remember the first kind of big campaign on Twitch with drops was Valorant, and Valorant was huge on Twitch
Yeah.
for a while. Now Valorant obviously has lost a lot of popularity, but there's definitely still an audience for it. The Valorant,
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
the
for
big
sure.
tournament, I can't remember the name of the tournament, but there was a massive tournament recently. I watched the finals. I was sitting in Shroud's chat watching the finals, like he was watching along with some friends in a lobby. And it was really good to watch. Like I thoroughly enjoyed watching the games, and like I mean, Shroud had hundreds of thousands of viewers watching this event. And I remember Hyperscape tried to copy Valorant with the having the loot
The
drops,
drops.
and you had to watch a stream to get your key. The absolute difference in that is insane. How quickly that dropped off compared to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can argue Valorant also lost a lot of popularity, which it did, but nowhere near the same level. I mean, that game's still
It's-
very much alive.
I mean, one's got 11 viewers, one's got 71,500, so it's a bit like
Yeah.
I think they won.
I think the thing for Valorant is they
They
basically
play into the
tried to
CS:GO community.
they built themselves on the back of a different type of community, and a community that hadn't seen much love and attention in a long time. Think about how old Counter-Strike is. Like just I mean Counter-Strike is I mean if you talk about Counter-Strike beta, it's over 20 years old. The community has been there for like 2 decades. And in terms of the competitive community, the people that are doing it now have been there for the last decade. But you also haven't seen any real shift in graphical improvements, mechanical changes. It's been the same thing. It's had this cult legion of people following it for so long. So I think the mistake on behalf of like Hyperscape was like let's capitalize on BRs, but they were doing it in a format where Fortnite still dominates. You have other people who are all trying to get into the arena of like there's hundreds of BRs out there right now,
Mhm.
but there's probably only a handful of like 5 that you can name that are really like having any traction. So adding a new one to the mix and expecting it's going to be big was a mistake. But the thing that Valorant did that was smart was that it basically just rebranded Counter-Strike. I mean,
Yeah.
that is what it is. It's Counter-Strike with Overwatch characters. You have characters with abilities. Those characters fit a niche role within their team. You have a buy phase, and I think people like Respawn were smart when they came out with Apex Arenas. They
Yep, I was gonna
borrowed
say
sort
that.
of the Counter-Strike format of like buying your shit at the start of the round. I think the idea of taking ideas that are successful and reincorporating those into something new. I don't think if Valorant was just a CS:GO clone, it would have failed.
Mhm.
It needed to be a CS:GO clone, but with the character abilities and that sort of like Team Fortress 2 cell shaded, like poppy, colorful kind of look, that did something for it. So I don't know. I think that they just were smart about what type of brand they wanted to revitalize because CS:GO just wasn't a thing. I think the next big thing will probably be someone who looks at an extant community that has a huge following and then figures like they haven't seen any updates or any love within 10 years. Let's rebrand that basically. Because that's all Valorant was. But the
Mm.
biggest hype that it also had from a competitive point of view, and it still has, probably for people like Shroud, is that it has no aim assist. There's no factors in like basically it's a game that is completely designed around quote unquote pure skill. There's no assets within the game that course correct or modify the player's behavior. So if your aim is off, your aim is off. Um, so
Unless you have a
I think
Cronus.
Let's get that Chronos.
I think there's people that like are just drawn to that from like a esports perspective. Anything that can like push itself towards sort of the esports like end of the spectrum and be taken as credible. has more potential than a game that like just can't be marketed as an esport.
And I
That
would
makes
love
sense.
that. I want to be part of that so bad. Like I would love to be part of that side of the gaming spectrum. It's just I don't enjoy those games. I don't enjoy CS:GO. I've watched it. I've tried to play it a few times. I played Valorant a few times. I just don't like that gameplay. I wish
It's a very specific style.
it is.
Yeah.
I just wish there was like I'm excited for Halo. The Halo Infinite could be it. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited to see how Halo works. I'm wondering if the gunplay is going to be similar to how Destiny is, or if they're going to try to keep it how it kind of was in like the original Halos. But I think if they do make it gunplay and gun feels similar to how Destiny feels now, but they have that MLG true kind of competitive side of it, like that'd be fun, you know? That'd be fun because that's one thing I love about Destiny is just the gunplay. There's not another game like it.
Halo still hits like 1K viewers on Twitch.
Oh sure,
and
yeah.
it's super old. It kind of goes exactly what Grog was saying. Halo's got that cult following that CS:GO has, and I feel like if they can tweak it. Imagine if Halo was basically Destiny. I would play it. I fucking would. The only reason I don't currently play Destiny is because I'm bored with the way that it is.
I know that
Come
wasn't
on.
a personal attack. I know.
Well, I mean, look at Grog. Look at all the Destiny merch behind him. When was the last time you played Destiny?
2 years ago.
There you go. And he clearly
think-
loves it.
Yeah, I love the setting. I love there's so much that I love about the universe, just being in that universe and the stories that have come out of it. But I still remain dissatisfied with kind of where it is as a game. And I think those two things can coexist. You can love a franchise and you can be completely enamored with either characters or plot beats or just a setting or even just a visual tone and be enamored with that. But at the same time, just feel differently about the gameplay. I think that is something that a lot of people struggle with a lot of different franchises that they've come to know and love, where either a new director takes the helm or a new production team gets behind it, and suddenly, I mean, Halo is an example of a franchise that is deeply beloved by its community, and yet at the same time, there are deep divides between the Bungie Halo and the Microsoft Halo.
Yeah.
And people who feel very strong. Some people who are ambiguous. It's just like whatever. I like it. But then some people who feel like Microsoft made it better. Other people feel like Microsoft made it worse. You know that level of, but see, in a way, it's almost a sign of success when you have a level of fandom that is so, I don't want to say rabid, but like so diehard about their beliefs about like certain small facets, being like the perfect example of why this is the version that's better. This is the reason why. And like people wouldn't have that level of conviction if it didn't mean something to them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's a good sign. And I think that's like when Candy mentioned at the top of the stream Battlefield and how he's excited to play it and others are excited to play it. I think that's because Battlefield is again one of those franchises where people have in their back pocket a list of memories of things that they did or highlights that they can recall, instances of late night sessions with friends that have stayed with them, and that nostalgia keeps you going. And also, it's only amplified by having next gen graphics and having all these new features and modes and all that stuff. So I think I know I'm doing a lot of talking here, but the one thing I wanted to say earlier was how much I enjoyed watching this Apex Legends Global Championship Series.
ALGS is what we call it.
It was really good, and even if you don't like or don't even fully, if you're not fully invested into that game or that setting, the coverage of it was really interesting to watch. I think now, as we're talking about how games are not necessarily just living or dying based on, like how good the inner gameplay loop is. Some games are, well, pretty much every game is, like if it's not fun to, go to a vendor 20 times to like do a pickup and delivery quest, people will stop playing the game. The core gameplay loop has to be exciting. But beyond that, beyond the actual internal mechanics of the game, I feel like now any multiplayer game, it almost is becoming um necessary for the coverage of the game and how it's talked about and how it's perceived within the community. That's just as important, because the ALGS was interesting. You got to see the whole map at large, and effectively you could see, the players could not see this, but the announcers and the people covering it could see where all the teams are dropping within the map. They could do like basically the equivalent of like a drone camera above the play area that would, it didn't have like wall hacks on, but you could see all the player names and you could see everything that was happening. So you had someone in the match, like you would flying a drone camera over a soccer pitch or a football field, like, either during a team huddle or like, during, the middle of a fight, and you could see it play out in real time. And then they would zoom into the different teams as they were playing and cutting between different perspectives of each team. They would cut in to a team and then just cut into the team's audio feed. So they would cut out the announcers and say, all right, we're going to listen in with Scars right now and see what their strategy is. And watching people who have been in a tournament that started over a year ago and has gone through this bracketing system on like a international level, and watching people who are in like the top 1% of 1% play this game and hear their strategy in real time, fucking fascinating. I mean, it's
Oh,
really
yeah.
interesting to see that play out. And then they would smash cut out of that to a camera overhead watching the entire event. And so you could just see, like, in the third circle of the match, all
Where
these
all the
teams
teams are.
coalescing. And it's just like, it was really, really neat, because I've never been able to see the game that way. I've never
Mhm.
been able to see it with that bird's eye view of like, well, here's this team in this power position and there's this team in this defensive position. How are they going to handle each other? And then when somebody starts to make the play, you go from that bird's eye view down into the action and watch it unfold. The technology now is such that, like, I think people can really just really appreciate games on kind of a different level, and I think streaming does that too. You watch like a lot of channels where viewers come in and they're like, yeah, I just started playing this game recently and I wanted to like, um I wanted to watch somebody to get some tips to see how to get better. People do that all the time.
I am.
And that was just not a thing that existed when we were growing up. If you wanted to play any sort of game competitively, you played against the best kid in the neighborhood on your couch and hoped that you could beat them,
Killed him and
or
ate his heart and gained his powers.
you know, like,
Suck it, Joel. Yeah, I remember you. Suck it, Joel.
It's interesting you say this, because like I'm not a big like Fortnite fan. Like I don't watch or play Fortnite. I haven't for a long time. But I used to quite enjoy watching like the high level competitive Fortnite stuff, because you got the same thing. You got that bird's eye view where you could see where all the teams are and see them move, and it's really fascinating to see a BR from that angle and be able to spectate. And I mean, I was able to enjoy it even though it's not a game I actually play. Yeah, it's I would love, like, if I was, I don't know, 10 years younger, I'd love to be trying to go to like esports like direction, but
Yeah.
unfortunately
We're old.
yeah, unfortunately.
But
I mean,
think this is
even
this is
10 years ago I was too old probably.
Oh my god, shut up.
Boomer.
I think this is really great. I think it's a great argument and counter argument, or just a great example to show people that don't understand people watching games. Why don't you watch games? Go touch grass, blow me type of thing. But it's like, well, why do you watch football games or soccer matches or whatever? And it's like, when you watch NFL, you see the same thing. You get the same experience. You have the bird's eye view of where they are. You have it zoomed in. They have microphones that you can, like, oh, you can hear what they're saying right now. You know what I mean? Like after the match. And it's like, you get that experience when you watch these big ass tournaments, and you're like, oh, this is so dope. And then on the streaming side of it, it's even more because not only do you get to see this big, this big tournament like you would an actual, football game or whatever, but not only that, you get to see like, oh my gosh, this dude is cracked as hell. I don't only get to watch him when he's playing in these tournaments. I can go to his channel and just bullshit with this guy. You know what I mean? Like that's what
People
makes
are
it different.
approachable.
Exactly. You can act instead of just seeing like, like, oh, Kenny Vaccaro, he's owner, G1 owner and stuff, like football player. Hello. You know what I mean? Like, and you could just instead of just like say you just like Kenny Vaccaro because you like watching football, you only get to see him when he's playing. No, you can actually go and watch him because he streams fucking games on Twitch. You know what I mean? Like, so it's you get a way different aspect, and like people that just they just don't see it, they haven't seen it, they don't know about it, but like there's so much more to than just like watching someone play a video game. Like that's such a basic
Or then
argument.
when your brother says the same argument, and it's like, motherfucker, we used to sit there and watch each other play games.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
done this.
You take turns playing on the PlayStation back in the day, like it was the exact same.
Nintendo.
Well, Nintendo, whatever,
I think that
Atari.
I think that esports overall is one of those things where, and I'm almost thinking back to the analogy brought up at the beginning of the stream, where I talked about like 3D films. If you think about it, 3D films it's one of those things that periodically always keeps coming back, but every time it comes back, it does come back a little better. Like, so you had like Jaws 3D, or like Nightmare on Elm Street 3D, or like films in the 70s and 80s that were 3D. Then in like the late 90s, early 2000s, you had a resurgence of 3D films, and then in the late like 2010s, we had a resurgence of 3D films. But each time they have gotten better. I feel like esports is one of those things where initially it was everyone was dying to like see what the next big esports thing was going to be that blew up in like the early to mid 2000s, and esports was going to be the next sports. It's weird, that's weird to say, but you know what I mean, like it was going to attain some legitimacy and it was going to break into the mainstream. The thing is that was just preemptive. It's a bit like George Lucas thinking that CGI in the prequels was a good idea. Like the technology was there, it just doesn't mean it was ready to pop off yet. I'm
That's
sorry,
right.
Condi.
That's right, George.
If you're listening,
the best Star Wars
Put the
films,
originals
excuse me?
on Disney Plus. Seriously, I don't want to watch your garbage CGI After Effects. I want to watch the originals.
I
Han
just
shot
those on
first. Who
VHS.
gives a fuck?
also just to said in chat, husband got a 3D TV. I had a 3D TV as well. What a goddamn waste! I have like 3 3D Blu-rays. But the cool thing, PlayStation VR, you can watch 3D Blu-rays on it, like you're in a cinema. It's really fucking dope. But I have to sit with a VR headset on my head to watch a movie, which is not ideal.
But I think the driving thing that I'm getting at here is that new ideas and these things that are going to break into the mainstream or become the next thing, they probably will, but that first impulse, that first wave, or even the second or third wave are usually not the time that they break into the mainstream. That's not the time that they blow up. And it's interesting because esports has been one of them, but reason why I wanted to talk about esports recently was because it's been on my mind with the ALGS, but also the cover of Sports Illustrated this month is FaZe. Like, now whether you like them or not, FaZe is like an esports like team. They cover a couple different like game settings, primarily Call of Duty, but they are on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Seems like every game I play, I'm playing with someone from FaZe Clan. It's crazy.
Well, I've mentioned it before, but like if you don't understand esports, go and watch the documentary All Work, All Play, because that just opened my eyes to more how big esports is. It follows around the League of Legends international, the IEM, International Extreme Masters, I think, Intel Extreme Masters, something like that. But it's insane, and watching it, even as a person who doesn't play League and doesn't frankly understand League of Legends, I was hyped watching the documentary. If you don't understand esports, you got to watch that. That just completely opened my eyes to it all.
Here's a good way to put this in perspective. The NFL, by the end of 2021, So through all of 2020, the NFL will have pulled in 140 some million viewers. Major League Baseball, 79 million viewers. The NBA, 63 million viewers. And then it just keeps going down for hockey and soccer and so on. Esports, do you want to guess where it is in terms of like NFL, baseball, NBA, etc.?
I would
Beating it.
guess at the top.
It's just below NFL. 84 million. So 84 million, has the combined, it has more than the combined viewing of the NHL and for soccer and for hockey combined. And it's
In
beating
America?
out in America.
In America? No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. In America, soccer.
Yeah.
Well, football.
Yeah. No. Premier
Yeah.
League, like
called
far and
football.
away, soccer. Yeah,
Football.
football in general. Like
Football.
between
Say
like
it. Say it.
Football.
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 Footy.
I sound like
Play some
Billy.
football.
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 soccer or
Hey.
football is the most viewed sport around the world.
But in America,
but in the United States, esports is right underneath the NFL. And it's like it's absolutely crushing 3 out of the big ones. Basketball, NHL, and Major League Soccer don't even come close. And so like it's kind of wild that esports is a thing that keeps growing and hasn't really stopped. It's from 2016. So this is I'm looking at a graph from Syracuse University. From 2016 to 2020, fan growth has gone up from about 270 million to 495 million. The trajectory is just a straight arc up. And I mean, eventually will it plateau? I'm sure it will, but I just think that esports is growing, but nobody's really looking at it. I think gamers included. And it's a little bizarre because in the Sports Illustrated article, it was talking about how like labor forces and regulatory bodies don't really quite get like esports yet. And like they aren't really regulating in terms of contracts, in terms of like, there's not an industry standard for hires for like full-time versus part-time versus contractor. Like there's no unions. So it's kind of this wild west of a multi-billion-dollar wild west that like is still just being figured out.
My closest experience with any kind of esports thing, a few years ago,
Gambit turning.
yeah, Bungie added this game mode called Gambit, which was kind of like a PvE VP thing where you worked in teams of 4 and you played against people. And they ran this tournament in the UK. And what was so fucking cool about it was I had to travel through to Glasgow, and I went to, so we've got a chain of stores called Game, basically equivalent to GameStop in the US. And in the Glasgow one, they have like a room at the back where they just have all these PCs lined up, and they've got their DX racers and these like high-end PCs and nice monitors. And, my team all got there and we sat down and we played against other people in the UK, people that we knew, other streamers, like, people that we knew about. But like, I can't explain how fucking cool it was to sit there and have my teammates sing on either side of me while we were playing.
Imagine.
Like, that was just an unbelievable experience, especially because some of these people were people I'd known for a long time and hadn't met before. And to actually be able to sit down and communicate with each other, like sitting next to each other, one of the most amazing experiences. So cool. And it made me wish I'd like played more competitively from
Gambit.
like
Yeah,
a
I
younger
get
age.
that.
Well, no, not Gambit, but it was a really, really cool experience. And I even just at that tiny little level with like, I mean, we maybe had like 4 or 5 people standing behind us watching on the monitors. Like, wasn't exactly a crowd, but it was like, it was a cool fucking experience. And I can imagine like playing at like these big levels where you're out on stadiums and stuff is absolutely wild. Other quick side note I just wanted to mention, like, in my opinion, one of the things holding back esports is just the cringe. All right?
Yeah.
When I was watching this Valorant tournament recently, the EU team was playing in the semifinals and they won. And to celebrate, what they did, now, to give some context actually, so they originally lost at the start of the tournament. They went to the losers bracket, and they worked their way right through the losers bracket and got to the semi-finals and then won. So they got a place in the finals. So to celebrate this, after the game, they all stood up, and like 4 of them lay down on the ground, and then the 5th one did like the res animation, and they got up one at a time, and I wanted to die.
Everyone did. That was like the most virally cringe video.
I was like, you guys could have just celebrated normally, and it would have been so cool. But like, oh man, that hurt my soul.
That's not even on the organization at that point. That's
No, I
these
know,
but that's
workers
the
haven't
thing.
even
I
been at
mean-
the house in years, and they're like, "Oh, let's do this cool thing," and then everyone else was just like,
I get what they were
What
going
the
for.
fuck?
They were like,
Oh,
you know, we
sure.
revived, we're back from the dead. You know, we thought we were out of the tournament, and now we're in the finals. Like, it was cool, but like,
And at that same time, it's like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like, if it was us and we did something stupid like that, it's like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? We made it back. I don't give a fuck what you think. But at the same time,
yeah, we could kind of hurts
just said,
the.
yeah,
Kind of cringe, don't it?
GGs.
I'm sure everyone's seen those compilations of like esports players coming out and they have to do like a move to the camera. They come out one at a time and like dab or
like-
something.
It's like,
It's such a shame. It's such a shame.
uh,
But yeah, it's cool. I really want to watch this Apex thing. Actually, I didn't even realize that was happening. People were talking about it in my chat, and I was just like, yeah. Now I know what it is. I'm gonna need to check that out.
Can't even know what the LGS was.
We had a couple small updates about Twitch, which we should maybe cover. They
the
added
the
some new
AMC is
tags.
still a thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, maybe a little more than 2 weeks ago, at the start of the month, Twitch added 350 new tags, including things like transgender or neurodivergent, or basically they just added a whole bunch of stuff. So they added tags that
There's a neurodivergent tag?
there is. There is.
Go on.
But they added tags basically covering a broader range, a more diverse range of descriptors that people can use to label their own channels, that they can self-label. I think they also expanded the range of nationality tags as well.
There's a Scottish tag.
Mon.
There is a Scottish tag.
I can finally
yes.
take out my title.
Is there an American tag?
I think there is.
Yeah,
I
there
wouldn't-
is.
I wouldn't use it. I'd probably get
Actually,
views.
I know that there is.
There definitely
there's-
is.
But they added tags. So if you are a black creator, you can have a tag, signaling that. If you beyond just the LGBTQIA plus tag, that was kind of the ubiquitous tag for anyone like on the gender spectrum wanting to represent that. Now that there are tags specific for different labels, so you can use those if you wish. But they just recently added, and kind of like low key didn't make a big fuss about it, but they added pronoun tags. So now you can have a he/him, she/her, or they/them, and add that as a tag, which I think is great, because a lot of people have been giving like through word of mouth, people have been talking about like a third party application or a plugin that you can use for your browser that has allowed people to apply pronouns before their username in Twitch chat. So kind of like how Better Twitch TV and Franker Faces like allows you to have emotes that aren't actually part of Twitch show up in Twitch. This allows you to have these pronoun signifiers show up and they show up to other people if they also have the plugin installed. But that's the thing. It requires you to have the plugin there.
And also, you can't have it show up on OBS, which is a bit of a bummer. You
Yeah.
have to like pop out the chat and
Yeah, because it's a browser plugin, so OBS in of itself, if you use that to monitor chat, it won't reflect.
Okay.
It doesn't. OBS is a software, because it's not browser based. It doesn't have a plugin for it. But yeah, so now if someone wanted to, they can list their pronouns. And they can list multiple pronouns. I think the only complaint that I've seen that anyone has had in reaction to this is that there's still a cap of, I think, 5 tags that you can apply to a stream at any one time. Some people have said like, well, I would need to use at least 2 of these pronoun tags, and that's like 2 out of my 5. It's a valid argument, but also it's like
You can only use 5
I'm
tags.
Mhm.
apparently, yeah, 5 of your own tags, and
I
then
didn't
the
know
other
that.
tags are auto-generated. So if
Yeah,
you're
the
playing
default
Resident Evil,
ones.
it'll be like horror, puzzle, adventure. Those are all automatically appended onto the
Mhm.
stream, and they do not count towards your total. So I mean, yeah, extending the number of tags could be nice, but it doesn't seem like
There's
the
not
sky's
5
falling.
things I could describe it myself.
Well, bear in mind as well, the tags aren't there for discoverability, as we've mentioned many times. So I feel like
They can.
They
Can
can be
be.
though.
they can be. I
I mean,
mean,
if you're
as
specifically
speaking for
looking
myself,
for
I've had
something like
people
that.
come in because of
I-
the
I've
trans
had
tag
people
now.
come in. I've had people come
Not
in
trolls yet.
specifically because of tags.
Yeah.
I know I'm kind of just begging for it at this point, but no trolls have come in. No good
Ha-ha,
trolls.
We'll show you.
No good trolls.
All you
the
gotta
worst
do-
I've gotten is gay bad.
all you gotta do is go into pools,
Not
hot
even an
tubs, and
effort in that.
beaches.
Yeah.
Then you'll get all the trolls. Trust me. Just
Oh,
go in
there
there.
you go.
Just go into
Hot tub
pools.
beaches.
Yeah,
Mm,
that'll do it. Believe
Yeah,
me,
I
it's
remember you're getting
bad
some,
over there.
some horny messages when you did that.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
from
only
me.
human. You know, I can understand.
Yeah, like three of my fake accounts got banned during his stream. Hot tub stream.
Yeah, you know, who can blame them, really?
You are like a god amongst men.
It's
I will
true.
say though that
Small man,
there is,
but God.
although the platform doesn't necessarily lend itself to discoverability, the tags do allow for discoverability. You can actually check in your metrics, both for your channel analytics and or your stream summary, to see if anyone was referred to your channel because they specifically searched a tag and then found you as a result, which is pretty cool. So it's nice. It's nice to
How did
have.
you do
And that was one of the things that people have been asking for a long time. Because you had creators who had a specific tag on there wanting to find other creators also operating under the same, sort of like setting. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Always good to have more and more, freedom with it. Have you guys got any thoughts towards new emotes or anything like that? I know Cyber's probably been designing them already.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, Cyber,
I've
you
already
have
got them
got to-
done.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
of
there's
course they
no
are.
way. There's no way you don't have shit working on or done.
Literally already done. Like
I have
am
done nothing with them.
Yeah.
I want.
Like-
I don't know if I even want. I mean, I don't know. I'm just so lazy. I think that's really not lazy, but
lazy.
I have some commissioned from a suspicious shark. She's working on 7 new ones, and we're gonna do some bit badges as well. I actually thought that I did this before I started getting the discussion in motion before the announcement was made that follower emotes were going to be a thing, where you're going to be able to have somewhere by the end of 2021, affiliates are going to have access to follower badges, just like the partners will. And basically, if you follow a channel, you'll be able to use up to 5 emotes for that channel only within that channel, which is nice if you can't afford to sub, or you don't have the means, or you're just not able to for whatever reason at that time. You can follow a streamer and you can use their emotes, and so that'll be nice during like hype trains, or if a raid comes through, or if you have like a special activity or event that pops up. So I actually just thought like, well, I'll just get 7 done, and then I have the leisure to like rotate out some of the 5 tier 1s and or a tier 2 or tier 3 if I feel like it, based on like popularity or success, or maybe I just retire some. But then I was like, well, now if I get 5, like I can just like I can have those. I can make maybe some of my current ones follower emotes and make some of the other ones for subs. And I think now is probably a good time to actually get in touch with people for commissions, because
for sure, I'm sure people commission the graphic designers and stuff are probably getting hella, which is good for them. You know what I mean? Like they're getting a lot more business and stuff, and I'm sure their shit's blowing up.
I think my current plan is probably to move my existing 5 emotes into the follower slot and just get new emotes done for sub emotes.
It's a good plan, because
I've been putting it off for a while, 6 months.
if you think about it, the addition of the follower emotes can almost be like your community, like your brand. And you as a perfect example, those emotes get used all the fucking time. So I think it's a perfect idea to just kind of move those into that section. Kind of goes with what Grog was saying. Some people just can't afford to pay that money. Um, and I think it's probably one of the better things that Twitch has done recently. It's
Oh,
done
for sure.
a lot of shitty stuff in the past, but this is definitely one of those things that ticks my box, and I'm like, okay, you done something good.
I mean, just having the option of having whether or not you use the animator or not, you now have an option to have like I mean, I have like we all have some emotes that we don't use anymore, and like I'm probably the first thing I'll probably do is just bring back some that I haven't been using in a while,
Yeah.
and just drop those in before I kind of go in the other ones. But yeah, you get so now you follow the channel, you get is it 5, right? So you get 5
Yep.
5
emotes
follower
for following
emotes.
the channel, and like you can use them in the channel, and then if you want more, you can sub to where you can represent outside of the channel. No, I think it's a great idea, and anything that promotes chat interaction is gonna be a good thing for Twitch because that's literally the worst part about streaming is not having chat interacting.
Yeah.
I would say one counterpoint maybe to use cyber is that you might want to consider actually taking one of your more popular emotes, especially an emote that is fairly ubiquitous that you might see having um,
Like
applications
dollies.
across the platform, and
Mhm.
keep that as a sub emote.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, like, whatever your most popular emote is, whatever the one that people cannot strongly identify with your brand, be it your dab, be it the Condi sip emote, or whatever, just remember that those follower emotes cannot be used in another channel. So if people follow you through into a raid, those emotes aren't going to be used in that raid. Like you have to think about, for any creator out there, you have to think about your sub emotes are you and your brand represented across the entire platform. And it is an extension that not only is just the platform but also Discord. If you have your Discord linked, and any Twitch subs who are part of your Discord can then use your emotes in other Discords, the reach of those emotes extends well beyond just going through with a raid or going to another channel. So there's all those tier ones actually have a lot of intrinsic value. If you have an emote that is a tier one for your subs that is like your logo or something that like is super tied to your brand, you probably shouldn't make it a follower emote. Because you want to make sure that people can continue to use that anywhere and everywhere. Because again, that keeps promoting your brand.
Yeah. Solid advice. Anything else we want to cover, or are we kind of ready to
Yeah,
wrap up
Daywalker
here?
M, she just put in, I completely forgot about this. The first time chatter notifications now that are, is that live everywhere? Or I think it was just a sample they were doing that first, right? Have any of
Just a
you seen
sample.
it?
I haven't seen
Okay.
it yet. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
It happened for friend of the channel, Selena. She's a partner for Twitch, and she had it happen in hers. She didn't know about it, but it just like kind of popped up, and she actually thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
It kind of has cycled back. I think some of the conversations on Twitter, it cycled back to the whole thing of like, don't necessarily call out lurkers. Some people just want to lurk and don't put them on blast and whatever. I mean, honestly, I feel like if you are typing in chat, on some level, you're just looking to say, "Hey, I'm here," and in response, it's only natural for people to say, "Hey, you're there. Hi, welcome for being there." Like, like it's not that. I think it's a great feature, to be honest, and I also think that it's nice to be able to kind of like draw the streamer's eye, especially if they're a streamer with a busy chat, to be able to highlight and single out an individual that they are new, so that you can show them that recognition and welcome
You don't
them.
have to. That doesn't necessarily mean people have to call them out. Like if you get it, you don't have to be like,
Exactly.
"Oh, hey, welcome, first time chatter." Oh my gosh, what made you? You
So
don't have to do that, but you can.
It's on the streamer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's going to be on the streamer, but you can definitely like. I would. I kind of agree. I would never call him. I don't think I'd call him out. Be like, but you can then take it like, okay, well, this person's first time chatter. You see that the first time chatter. Maybe not necessarily talk to them directly, but maybe it gives you more of an idea of like maybe you can talk more about your channel, kind of like just give you, not help them. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
curious.
you get it. I don't even have to say it.
I don't even really know much about this feature. I know that I've seen channels before where if I'm in the chat and I haven't spoken before, it'll come up saying like, hey, you're new here, why don't you say hello? And you can click a button and it'll come up and say, this person's new here, and it'll add like a hey guys emote or something. Is it different to that? Because that's something that's been around for a while.
No, it pops up
it's
like
completely different to that.
Right.
like a poll tab would pop, like it'd just be in your, how like you'd see highlighted just a poll tab, not
Like at
not
the top of your
but
chat.
like in the chat.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think it's in the chat, like
It's in so it's indented.
Yeah.
So think about like any like forum, like online web forum that you've used where you like quote something and it basically adds a little colorful indent. It basically puts a vertical bar that is, like, I don't know, I think Twitch just assigns it a random color. At least in the previews I've seen, it's been like sort of a pinky red. But basically it just puts a little indent to the left of whatever you're saying. So to the left of your sub badges or your Twitch badges, and it just says, first time viewer, or first time chatter, sorry. And the first time you talk in someone's channel, it comes up, and it only comes up the first time. It doesn't come up like your next 5 messages. Just the very first time you send a message, and it's just a little visual cue that this person's new around here, and maybe you want to just welcome them.
That's cool.
And yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. That's cool.
And then I guess the only other thing I kind of wanted to mention recently is just a reminder that when these like live reveals happen, either for new games or for new studios releasing stuff, it's not always safe from streamer's perspective to just co-stream it. Technically, you need to have permission to co-stream a live launch of something. For example, the ESA, the folks behind E3, the video games conference that happens every year, they sent out an email saying basically this: thank you for your interest in co-streaming E3 this year. E3 is excited to have so many fans who want to share and co-stream the content on their platform of choice. Though we encourage fan engagement and people to co-stream and think that it's great when the community does it, we do not speak for platforms like Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. We recommend that the TOS and guidelines for these platforms be followed. The exclusive E3 co-streaming program had limited availability when co-streaming spots were quickly filled. Basically, they're just saying, if you weren't invited to co-stream or you were not officially selected to be part of the co-streaming program, you could be at risk of getting a DMCA, not from the people like putting together E3, but potentially the studios releasing content. If it wasn't something that a new studio was planning on allowing people to stream, by way of you streaming the coverage, you are still streaming the reveal for a particular game or title or what have you. So yeah, just be mindful that like, just because you see someone famous on the platform do it, be it Twitch, YouTube, Facebook gaming, what have you, doesn't mean that you too can co-stream it. Just kind
But
of
that's how I judge all of my decisions for what's safe on Twitch.
well.
As long as you don't listen to Nick Mark's advice about DMCA.
Yeah, as I was gonna co-stream that and blare some Post Malone.
Sure, you'll be totally fine. I wouldn't worry about it.
What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, have a Disney movie playing in the background.
I was watching somebody recently, and on their startup, they're like just starting screen, and then during their intro, they're playing Migos in the background, and just like, and they're like, oh, somebody in chat is like, I can't really hear the music, so they just turned it up. And this is a partnered streamer, and I'm just like,
maybe it's Epidemic. They might have Epidemic.
Maybe.
One of my mods sent me a link to a Twitter post from some like esports company that made a video in the style of iCarly, but with their teammates. And if you don't know, that is the exact video that was made. It was iCondi, and it was clips of my channel, and I used the music, and I got DMCA'd and lost my Twitter. This esports organization has basically done the exact same thing. And what was funny was somebody else in the replies said, "Oh, hey, this person did it first," and linked somebody else that had made the same exact video, and I was like,
Only back
"I
in
did it
April,
before
so, like,
all of you."
Yeah. Cody did it like a year ago.
And he
I
didn't
still
comment.
maintain none of these should be taken down because it is completely fair use. It was transformative.
If it's fair, they should lose their
Bullshit.
Twitter accounts too. I when I first got sent it, I thought if this is like a small creator or like a medium-sized creator, I'll just DM them and be like, "Hey, I got banned for this exact thing." But it's like a big organization. I'm like, I'm not fucking DMing a big organization to tell them that. Like, they're just not gonna care.
Hey, sir,
just let you guys know, my channel, we got my.
might want to watch out.
I was so
careful.
mad.
Yeah.
I was so
Did
mad.
you tell them to like register a second account with an extra Y on the end?
I don't even want my original one back at this point. I just want
Some new
I want the
you should
username.
just comment like, "Here's some new account ideas for whenever this inevitably gets banned."
I know in my
And then
log they won't get banned.
At Twitter, be like, "Yeah, I remember."
This is
time
him,
him out,
boys.
fuck 'em.
Get him.
Keep their
Yeah.
account like tabbed on your computer, so every now and then you can just click over there and be like, no, it's still there.
That's what we need, though. Connie,
the
you
music
needed to do
industry.
this. That's what we need. You need to at Twitter. You need to at them and be like, "Look, this is bullshit," and be like, "Yeah, I'm diming them out. I don't give a shit." These big people need to go down for this shit, so people start taking this seriously up in the upper echelon, so we can actually get this shit handled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I just think it's
I mean,
unfair.
E3 or whatever is probably not like gonna be changing any DMCA lobbyists or anything, but still.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that about does it for us. Cyber, where can everyone find you and what have you got coming up for us?
You can find me on every platform on Holy Cyber, streaming it on Tuesday. I've got my schedule cleared, everything. And I'm not entirely sure what I want to play. TFT is just one of those games that you can just sit back and just take your hand off the mouse and actually speak, which is kind of refreshing. Team Fight Tactics. League of Legends.
Oh.
Basically.
Nerd
but
shit.
it's good. It's like I haven't had actually played a game where you can physically not be stressed during gameplay, like Apex and all that kind of shit. You always need to be switched on. It's good to just kind of be able to do this while shit plays out on the screen. It's good.
I have an idea. So you're saying that's a low stress game. I have an idea for a high stress game where it's basically everything is voice commands and you have to scream. It only registers certain decibels. So you have to physically scream into your microphone exactly what you want your character to do.
I'm game.
Yeah.
Just any game.
I do that anyway.
Well,
Mantle! Mantle!
Shut up! Armor!
I like it. I would watch the hell out of that.
Damn straight you would. Damn straight you would.
Awesome. So you're going to be streaming this week?
Tuesday.
Fuck yeah. Grog, where can everyone find you?
Folks can find me live this week, Monday through Thursday, at twitch.tv/grogmode. And you can find me on other major platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at gamer_grog. This Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, these streams will be again promoting the Trevor Project and trying to fundraise for that charity. So yeah, come on by, and if you can afford to do so, make a donation. We have a charity set up, we have a campaign set up for that charity through Metabot Eve. She's going to be doing that stuff on her channel as well. So we're going to be doing some co-games with some of the other people who are participating.
But you can donate on anybody's channel and it'll all be linked.
Yes, exactly. It's all going to be part of the same campaign. So it's just going to be one big pot of money that will be going to the Trevor Project. A very worthy cause indeed. So yeah, I'll be streaming this week. Probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Outside of whatever co-games that we stream together, I'm probably going to be doing some more Subnautica and keep it light. And then maybe Thursday I'll be doing more Apex and stuff. It'll be the new seasonal split. So could be good to start on ranked again.
Heck
Hell
yeah. Eve, what you got planned?
Well, you can find me Metabot Eve everywhere. I've been uploading TikToks again. I've been editing them instead of just throwing them on there like I was before.
Hey.
But yeah, I'm gonna be streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for the charity stuff. I'm gonna be doing like 10, 12-hour something. Not sure exactly what I'm gonna be streaming in between. And then I'll stream Friday and Saturday, and on Thursday I'm going to record this stupid video finally.
Finally.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be out in like 2 weeks or so, and not another 9 months.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Humps, what you got going on?
It didn't work.
No, it didn't.
I'm Sir Humps. All the socials you can find me on at Sir Humps, except for Twitter. My attempt at gaining the at Sir Humps did not work. They just kind of bullied me in the messages. Like, this doesn't seem like a case of impersonation. It really just seems like you're trying to get this username. You're not wrong, Twitter. You're not wrong. The account's been suspended for 3 years. Let me fucking have it. But you can also still find me for the next month at sirhumps.co because that website's still live until I no longer pay GoDaddy. I will be streaming this week because my wife.
My wife.
My wife.
Thank you. She's back. Oh my goodness. I like that a lot. She's back, so I have I can ignore my kids again and start playing some video games. I might so this week I'm probably I'm gonna be streaming this week. I'm looking at different times and maybe different days. That might be changing up here in a little bit, but for so far this week it's probably gonna be all normal. Obviously Destiny, I might hop on some Apex with these fine peoples at some point, but mainly just Destiny. But yeah, you can TikTok, definitely on TikTok. I upload some pretty fire shit. I'm just saying, go check it out. All I'm saying. Pretty
underrated.
It's even funnier the third time it pops up.
I uploaded this video, the latest TikTok. I uploaded it 3 different times. The first time I got 20 impressions. The second time I got 40 impressions. The third time I did some editing on it using the Grog stuff that he talked about last podcast. And that one got 4,600 impressions, 300 likes. So I thought it was going to be good. First comment on this was, I'm here before this is viral. It didn't go viral. I mean, it did well. I mean, 4,600 is nothing to be upset about that, but I was really thinking, I just thought it was a funny ass clip. I don't know, man.
I sometimes still think
it's so frustrating when your genius isn't accepted by everybody else.
I sometimes still think that TikTok themselves choose to kill a video if it's doing well, if they don't like the content. Like, obviously,
I did say the F word.
Yeah, like, again, I think of the one where I was talking with Grog, and the clip is like me saying like, I'm gonna change the title of my stream to how much to drink your own piss. And that video was doing great. It got 16,000 impressions and then just dropped off a cliff. And I'm like, somebody at TikTok saw it and they were like, no.
Yep.
I'm convinced.
Yep.
But weirdly,
Enough of this shit.
Talking TikTok.
This dude's mom is talking about his infected wee-wee on stream. Yeah. You can't be having that on TikTok.
I re-uploaded my TikTok that went viral, like just with the exact same clips, the exact same hashtags, everything. And it's up to like 35K again. And I've gained like maybe 500 followers. That video is just a magical video. I don't know what it is.
Did that person respond?
No. So somebody told me that I had to credit somebody else for the joke, even though it was a story I told about something that happened in my life. Fucking dumbest
That was actually
ever.
a Misfits joke. Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah, I'll go back and like remove that from my set list of jokes that I write.
One single video that they uploaded is stolen content.
Yeah. People on TikTok, man. They're crazy. But yeah, TikTok, apparently there's absolutely no punishment for just reposting old clips. So I'm just going to keep doing that. Fuck it.
I'm probably going to do it again.
Dude, honestly, see, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start, every time I run out of new stuff to post, I'm just going to go back through, pick a random video, and just repost it.
Yeah.
There's literally no consequences.
You never know when it's going to just catch that wave. You know what I mean? It's all complete random.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway.
Condi, please tell everyone what do you got going on? Where can we find you, Condi? Was that not sarcastic?
No, that was great. Thank you. I feel real good about this now. My name's Fly. You can find me Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all those places. This week, obviously, doing the charity streams alongside Eve and Grog. I don't think I'm gonna have time to get on tomorrow. It just purely depends on what time I finish work. But I'm looking at the schedule. I'm expecting I'm gonna be late tomorrow. But I will definitely be on Tuesday and probably do a long stream on Wednesday as well. Hopefully.
What's a long stream?
Well, I have the day off work on Wednesday, so I'm gonna get on early and try and do a long one. Hopefully, I can hook up with some of you guys for some party
Might as well
game
since you've been
kind of
sneaking
things.
on my time slot.
Yeah, every time I go live early, Humps comes in and starts complaining that I'm in his time slot, even though literally I'm in the earlier time zone. Like, go back
This
to
is my
bed,
time slot,
Humps.
Condi. You come on after me.
I'm gonna get that video out. I'm praying. Like, my plan is, even though I'm not gonna be.
Took you long enough.
Yeah, even though
Like a
I'm
week?
probably going to be late home to stream, I might be able to sit and quickly finish that video. So hopefully that's out tomorrow. I've spent a lot of time on this one, so I really hope it does good. Fingers crossed. But yeah, apart from that, it'll just be more Apex. I might sneak in a Civ stream because I'm just, if I feel like maybe passing 12 hours in the blink of an eye, I'll probably play Civ. We'll see what happens. But more importantly, do check out the podcast. If you're listening on any of the audio platforms, we do this live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Zero Strategy Podcast. It will be linked in the show notes. And if you're watching this live and you enjoyed it, some of our episodes are actually educational, would you believe it? Well, we actually give some advice and information. So you can check out all of our old stuff on Spotify and YouTube. We also have a Discord and a Twitter. So you can basically find us everywhere. Just search for Zero Strategy Podcast. We are going to go and raid somebody. So thank you very much for hanging out with us. And we will see you next week. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast brought to you by Stolen Misfits content.